I did not, I will admit, but it's something I should have done because it really does help the material to stick in your mind.
Yeah, say that. I regret not looking over my notes when it was fresh in my mind.
Because you forget things.
Yeah.
2 months later, it'll have gone out of your mind and you will not remember doing it at all. That's from experience.
I try to do it every week, just so that when it comes time to study for the exam, that's already been done and all I have to do is learn the content.
What I did is I had my laptop and I'd have the slides downloaded onto it and I'd type during the lecture, then I'd get home and that evening or the day after or the weekend after, if I was really stressed and had lots of stuff going on, I would write it all out by hand.
I'll be honest, at first no, but then I found what was more effective for me is I prefer to look at stuff beforehand, so then I got more out of the lecture in the first place.
Well, I would get all of my lecture notes on that topic and put them all together. And then I would go through each lecture and summarise them and then kind of get an overall idea of that. And then if I didn't get a part of that, I'd go to the textbook or ask someone to explain it.
I mainly used my notes because I took the time to write lots of notes as I was going through, but I also found that the textbooks were really good as just sort of getting a second opinion on whatever you were doing.
I like to use YouTube to go over concepts.
Crash Course, use Crash Course.
Generally, I spent like specific afternoons on some subjects. Like I would label it in my journal, my like yearly journal. Like today, revise biology, and then maybe the next day, today revise history, rather than doing it all in the one afternoon. You'll just confuse yourself and overwhelm yourself.
You won't have to work on your 5 subjects equally unless you're like same skill level in all of them. You'll find that as with school, some subjects you need to spend more time in, and others because you have a better grasp on that, you don't need to spend as much time.
The biggest difference between high school and university, which I struggled with, was the sheer amount of information that they threw at us right from the first week of uni. Yeah, there's a lot more content. And they don't spoon feed you, they don't take you through it all. It's a lot more independent learning. Yeah.
I miss syllabuses.
Yeah. Like I had no idea how to study first semester.
Yeah.
Because I was so used to just answering syllabus dot points.
Same here.
And then they're like, no, there's none.
And they really like give you no idea of the depth of what you're meant to know in certain areas.
Yeah, most lecturers just say you'll be examined on what we say and what's on the slides.
Probably used to having your HSC subjects really structured around a sort of list of dot points. You may find that that's not really there in such a like a structured form for your university courses, and you generally tend to have to then more just rely on what's being covered in your lecture notes. Another thing is to consult your unit study outline, which is a document which the unit study coordinator should publish for each unit, which sort of describes like the main objectives of the unit, and that might have a bit more of a structured form or an outline which tells you what kind of topics you have to cover.
Yes, definitely. In the HSC, I felt like every day was, just you had to study. It was like so much pressure.
Yeah.
Like it was constant studying, constant writing down notes and rewriting notes, and maybe answering essay questions. But university is a lot more flexible, and you tend to change your habits when it comes to studying.
I didn't do any science subjects in the HSC. I couldn't really apply my history and English and language study methods to learning science at uni, so I found I needed to write sort of really short weekly summaries and just compress all the information I really needed to learn.
I'd say that my HSC study method was really different from uni, just for the fact that a lot of subjects you do, for example biology, in the HSC you just write your really pretty colour-coded notes and you basically
Do judgment
just
statements.
memorize all the dot points. And then I find in uni everyone got anxiety because they're like, where's the syllabus? Where's the syllabus?
Yeah.
This professor, and they're like, there is no syllabus, and everyone was like, freaking out. They have general learning outcomes, but
not
as the professors often say, we can't just put a stop on biology.
I was in college for first year, and it was a small college, but there were always 2 or 3 of us that would study together. But I think mainly we didn't talk to each other while we were studying. We just made sure that we didn't get off track. We just sat with each other and studied, and occasionally explained things which could be really useful. But I thought the best part of the study group as such was just someone else making sure that I was studying instead of going on Facebook or playing games on my phone. I prefer studying on my own just because of the time commitment, and also I tend to get distracted in big groups. I think they're a good idea if you're someone who needs to be kept on track though.
I was mainly focused on independent study, but a lot of my subjects had a sort of compulsory study groups where like you were put into a group assessment task, or you, for example, your lab partners.
Yeah.
You end up maybe adding them on Facebook or got them on your mobile, and you end up texting them anyway. You know, help me out with this, or do you know the answer to this, blah blah blah, that sort of stuff.
Wasted less time on stressing out, and just learned to get down to work.
I think I might need to be a little bit more strict with myself and not start studying the week before STUBAC, but actually sit down and revise my lecture notes every night if possible, or every Friday or something.
I think like focusing your attention equally, almost like the bigger assessments you put more work into than like a 3%.
Oh, I would definitely start studying sooner. Yeah. I would try to keep up to date and write notes consistently throughout semester so that it doesn't pile up by the end of week 13. But it's hard to have that motivation. Yeah.